You are welcome to the first lecture of multilingual education in Ghana, teacher training toolkit. This first lecture is meant to introduce you to the course, which will run for 10 to 11 weeks. And in each week, we will be doing a unit. The essence of this course is to introduce both pre-service and in-service teachers who are interested in teaching multilingual education. We have numerous policies in Ghana that explains the use of the mother tongue in the classroom. But the wider question is that whether this is actually practiced in the classroom. We've had more instances where teachers are still using the L2 to teach at the lower grade instead of the mother tongue. So we will just look at an introduction of the toolkit and what is expected of us. Now this is the outline. We shall be looking at just the introduction of the toolkit. What is it about? And then what we are expected to do. Then we shall also look at what we call the pre-training questionnaires. We are supposed to fill a questionnaire at each stage. Then we may look at the videos and the text we shall be using for the course. And then what is expected of you as learners ahead of every lecture. Now for the toolkit, it was developed by a group of intellectuals for multilingual education in Gambia. And the purpose was to develop a multilingual resources in Gambian languages. And then the use of the child's home language is what is important. And this is a toolkit which embraces all the languages the child uses. You know, the policy explains the use of just one Ghanaian language in the classroom. But this toolkit opens you up to use all the languages available for the child in the classroom. And teachers are supposed to be trained to embrace and accept multilingual education, and for that matter, how to use it in the classroom. Now, this toolkit will also include what we call a multilingual resource bank, where we shall develop resources in the available languages, particularly the 9 standard languages in Ghana. Resources that teachers can use to facilitate teaching and learning in a multilingual classroom. The structure of the toolkit. How does the toolkit look like? Now, the toolkit contains 9 units, which means that we shall be studying 9 different topics in the toolkit. Each unit will take a different topic, and all the topics are based on multilingualism and its pedagogy. Now, the first item in each unit is what we refer to as an input. The input is usually a pre-recorded video of the unit, which gives you information about certain topics. Then we have the activity, where you are supposed to do a task after every unit, which means that you will watch the video ahead of the lecture. Then when we come for lectures, you would have prepared your questions and for discussing during the lecture. Then we will have an activity in the form of a task, which you will do based on what you have studied on that unit. Then we shall also be looking at resources which are available to explain the topics in the unit. So we will look at articles written by other authorities, and maybe some that you yourself will produce as part of this lecture. Then we will have what we call Tell Us About It session, where you have the freedom to give your comments or your response about the unit. Usually what you have learned, what you think should be improved, and even what you think you can add as an individual teacher, being pre-service or in-service teacher. And each unit we have this structure that defines each unit. It means that in each unit we shall have an input, we'll have an activity, we will look at the resources, because our interest is to develop a multilingual resource, isn't it? We'll look at resources, and then we'll have the Tell Us About It session, where your comments, your views are accepted. All your contributions are all welcome. We shall look at that. Now, how to use the toolkit. How to use the toolkit. You will be given a text material, and then on your own, you need to know how to use the toolkit. You know that the toolkit, in using the toolkit, you first of all have to have what we call a personal notebook, because you need to record whatever you learn. For example, you know that forgetfulness is an enemy to every individual. We all forget. And the only way you can remember is to keep records so that you can make future reference. Now, you need to keep records of the activities we do here. Then we'll be asking questions along the line, especially the activity portion. You'll be expected to write your response. So first of all, you will need a special notebook for the toolkit. In each time we have a lecture, come with that special notebook to record whatever information is being given out. And then, of course, you might also be allowed to work on the toolkit as individual or in a group. As an individual, you have to work with the toolkit by studying what is available and what has been given to you. You can also work in groups. These activities are addressed clearly in the toolkit. And then you should know that everything in the video is supported with evidence. The videos we shall provide you are prepared by seasoned scholars. And things that we shall present to you during this training are things which have been researched and confirmed, and it is an authority. And this is how the toolkit will be used. Now, what will be the learning outcomes? In everything you do, you know you need to set out your learning outcomes, your objectives to achieve at the end of studying this course. The first one is to understand the principles of multilingual pedagogy, and that becomes the theory. So what are the principles of multilingual pedagogy, which you need to know, and then how to put multilingualism into practice by way of using it to teach, by way of using it in your everyday life, and that will be the part. So we shall the main objective is to look at the pedagogy, that's the methodology of teaching multilingualism, and then, of course, how to practice in class. In again, we shall be looking at why you should embrace multilingualism, and why your learners speak different languages and why you should appreciate that. Now we have instances where teachers stop students from the lower level even from speaking their own language. This will let you appreciate the fact that it is important that you allow every individual in the class to speak their languages. Is that right? Now, how stories is used to teach different concepts, and these stories will be told or translated into the language available to every people in the classroom. So your learners will have opportunity of listening to stories in several languages, right? And then, of course, you have to have the confidence in doing your own multilingual resources. Each of you, at the end of the course, will be able to prepare your own multilingual resources. Either you are translating an existing stories, or you are creating your own stories, or, of course, in other subject areas, you might decide that, okay, fine, let me see how I will use the student languages to teach them different topics. Mathematics, Greek, our world, our people. You can't decide to do that. Now let's go and find out who developed the toolkit, because you should know what you are using, and you should know where the toolkit comes from. Now, the multilingual resource for primary school was originally developed for multilingual education in the Gambia, and this was led by Dr. Clyde from King's College, London. Now, she didn't do it alone. She did it with Sabai and Sidia Chata. We collaborated in developing the multilingual resources for primary schools in Gambia. Then currently, I have adopted the toolkit and trying to pilot it in Ghana so that we have a multilingual resource toolkit or teacher training toolkit in Ghana. Remember that anytime you are using the toolkit or other people are using the toolkit, they need to acknowledge the source of the toolkit. And then in acknowledging, you can use Ankano C little x and Inusa A 2025 multilingual resources for big schools in Ghana as reference. So the toolkit we are using for Ghana is adapted from what was originally planned for multilingual education in the Gambia. And you know Gambia is also one of the African countries which is still developing in terms of education. Now, pre-training questionnaire. Now, these are questionnaires you are expected to fill before the start of the training. We have questionnaires for pre-service, we have the questionnaires for in-service. And each of you will fill the questionnaire. We want to know how you feel or what you understand by multilingual education before the start of the training. Now, before we meet next week for our first lecture on Unit 1, I will have provided the QR code for each of you to fill the questionnaires online. It's a simple questionnaire with just a few questions. And the questions is supposed to find out about your opinion and what you think about this toolkit before the start. So we shall send you the questionnaire. Then you'll be given handbooks.